Folks, welcome into SportsbookReview.com. It is Thursday, and you guessed it, it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. I'm Donnie Seymour, Jason Radowitz, along with Kyle Purviance. We are the SportsbookReview.com Major League Baseball team. Yesterday, case in point, I gave out 2 plays, and I said, you know what? I don't really like them all that much, but I'd like to get down and play these. That is exactly why I abstain sometimes from giving out a play of the day. White Sox, are you kidding me? Astros, are you kidding me yesterday? Cost me an 0-2 day. I actually went down $100 in baseball with those 2 knuckleheaded teams, but today's another day. And I have to say, I don't have a best bet in the banker, but I do have some stuff that I'm really digging on today. Jason, how's it going today, my man?
Yeah, look, your Phillies, they didn't get the job done for me in the first 5 innings. Kind of trolled me because they got 5 throughout the entire game. Even couldn't really score in the extra innings, but still got 5. So I got trolled. It's okay. We'll be back today. I do have a play of the day.
There you go. Kyle, welcome back into the show. Having some fun, ripping it ready. Thursday afternoon baseball on right now as well. How we living in the DFS world?
Oh, it was a great night for DFS.
Ooh.
And look, we give out some DFS picks here. And I told you, Matt Manning, way too cheap, 4,100. He was 5% owned. 19 points, third highest scoring starting pitcher yesterday in DFS. Turned into a little win with commas behind it. Took first place. It was a nice day. The 2 value menu wagers. It was a lot of fun. The Rockies put up 5 runs in the first inning. It looks like it's dead to rights. We still get the under 6.5. The Astros, for as much as they hurt everyone else, they still won minus 0.5 in the first 5 that hit. Of course, I forced a play of the day with the Cardinals team total that did not hit. But as Meatloaf famously said, don't be sad because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's what we got yesterday. Let's keep it rolling today. Excited to be with you, gentlemen.
No, certainly. We do have some day baseball, but before we get to that, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel here, right here on YouTube with SportsbookReview.com. 87,100 people. Tomorrow, I want to see that thing say 87,200. About 100 people watching live. A couple of you I know out there, because I'm looking at you, you didn't subscribe to the channel yet. So push that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. And also, if you are watching this on replay, yes, you can still subscribe. You don't have to be watching us live here, which I know many of you guys catch us a little bit later in the day. But let's talk some Major League Baseball. But before we do that, the summer, we're headed into August, right? Why not pick up some free money here with SportsbookReview.com and get in our Major League Baseball contest? If you need any explanation, Lee Martin's got you covered right here with this video.
The free $20,000 MLB 10 runs for free cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR forum for the contest.
All right, Lee Martin, thank you very much for that explanation here. Let's get some team totals, crank it up over the summer, $20,000 up for grabs in Bitcoin. Let's get to the afternoon baseball card today. Some in-game live updates. And let's have to preface this and say, ranking pitchers today, Fulton-Avich, second to last, living up to his expectations here early, Jason. Mm-hmm. Detroit knocking him out of the box early.
Yeah, I thought first 5 over would be the play, and it is. Obviously, 7 runs through just 4 innings for this game. The Tigers' offense, they've been exploding, especially at home. Something that I'm not really used to seeing or don't really expect. But right now, that Tigers' offense looks really good at home. Still don't want to take them. I'm just scared to take them offensively, but they've been really good recently.
Yeah, Texas, hang the for sale sign in the window. Why don't you at this point? Now, I don't know what is going on with Texas as we go, but you're not even facing a great pitcher now. We are in the top of the 5th inning, 2 outs, 1 runner on base. But as Jason says, a pro's move here, Kyle. Now, what you're going to say next is, I told all you guys, get on the first 5 overs. My play of the day, right?
That was it. Well, actually, I like the Tigers team total early on. I do. Where's my boy Vittles in the chat box? Because he knows that was true. Tigers red hot, 6 in a row. Looks like they're going to get their 7th straight win if their bullpen can hold up. Of course, it's always something to keep an eye on. Yes, the Rangers look abysmal. Yes, the Tigers are red hot, but that Tigers bullpen is absolutely beatable. So maybe you get to that 7th inning, you get some value on that Rangers live team total. It's an interesting dichotomy there. You've got a lineup that right now looks like the worst lineup in baseball. I mean, they just cannot hit the ball, but you also have a beatable bullpen. So maybe you can get yourself some value later in this game with a Rangers live total. That's something I would keep an eye on. But good on the Tigers. 6 in a row, looks like 7. Red hot right now. Probably the hottest team in baseball.
All right, let's get after this Major League Baseball card here today. 901-902, the city of brotherly love, Atlanta and the Philadelphia Phillies. Morton versus Moore, the lefty on the mound. 9s across the board here, but we do have an 8.5 at FanDuel and some light juice on those 9s that we're taking a look at a total. Favorites in this ball game, slightly there to the Atlanta Braves. Now, keep in mind, they had a doubleheader that got rained out yesterday. And before we break down this game, I just want to say something which I don't understand. And this, obviously, gambling is massive. Whether it's legal in the United States, whether you just offshore books, it doesn't matter. The fact that Atlanta didn't get tagged with a loss yesterday and they played a suspended game is absolutely incredibly ridiculous at this time, because you're taking a look at most sports books. If you had San Diego, you got a push out of it. If you had the over, you got a push out of it. Even if you bet the Atlanta Braves, which, you technically should have lost, you still got your money back. But Jason, your quick thoughts on yesterday, because there is a reason in Major League Baseball where after a certain part of the game, it is a final game. So let's just say it's a full 9-inning game. What do you got to get to? The bottom of the 5th inning, or after, the away team bats in the 5th inning, and then if it rains, you can't continue. The other team takes the loss. The score is 4-1, whatever it is. Your team gets a loss. What do you think about that yesterday? A suspended game when the game was actually completed technically, and the Atlanta Braves should have taken the loss. Home cooking there?
Yeah, and I think the score was over in the first place, and it already had went over. To get your money back, that's ridiculous. I mean, in the first place, because even if the game continues, you're going to get over, and if the game doesn't, it's still going to be over. So even at that extent, like the over-under, that would piss me off even more than the money line. But like, we know what the rules are, and I guess you got to just understand that the rain could do some damage to your plays, and that's why we kind of always talk about, hey, this game has some rain potential. We're not going to be playing it for those reasons. So keep that in mind. It's not right. It's a wrong decision by bookmakers, of course, but that's why we always talk about rain and why we usually don't get on games that have a lot of rain potential.
Yeah, I know it probably comes more from Major League Baseball, but who's to say, like yesterday, if the Braves were up 5-4, oh, that's full game, done, Braves with the win. Yeah. So if you're another team in Major League Baseball and you're saying, hey, you know what, this is my division rival here. Let's just say it's the Phillies and the Braves tonight in Philadelphia. It starts raining in the 7th inning. The Phillies are down 2 runs. Let's just suspend it. We'll play it 4 weeks later and force you to come back here and play 2 innings or whatever it is. I think it's ridiculous, Kyle.
Yeah, so do I. And I got to be honest, I was on that DFS sweat and ended up getting the win. So a lot of that stuff was under my radar. I was just like, please don't let the Giants and Dodgers score 80 runs tonight. That's all I really cared about. So I was on a whole different track, and I was trying to, I don't know if you guys do this, but when you have something big happening and you try to do things to distract yourself. So I'm playing Mario Party. I'm watching killer couples. I'm smoking 40 cigarettes. I'm taking shots of tequila. Anything that I could do. Taking the dog for a walk. I even took him on a short walk. I did the Donnie RightSide there. So I was doing a lot of things to distract myself. So I sort of missed what was happening there. But I mean, this is what baseball does. These old time boys, baseball needs to get out of its own way. Get rid of the fucking pitcher hitting in the National League. Get rid of the nonsense. Get rid of these 7-inning doubleheader crap. And let's have some fun. Get some set rules. Get over your old timey self. Get over this whole home cooking, you can decide this, you can decide that. The game's in the 7th inning, it's over. No one wants to watch you play 2 innings in 4 weeks. Nobody. I mean, will anyone tune in for that? Who's showing up to the stadium like, you know what? I can't wait to watch these final 3 innings of baseball. No one gives a shit about that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it felt like some home cooking to me. I will admit I wasn't living in the moment. I didn't see it. I was stressing something else. But that's baseball. They do weird shit. That's just what they do. I don't know what else to say.
Braves getting in probably a little bit later in the Philadelphia than you would like, but also take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies. Lost yesterday to the New York Yankees. Once again, that bullpen, a little bit of a problem as usual. But now we'll see if Bryce Harper's in the lineup. Fouled a pitch off of his ankle, so we'll see if he plays or doesn't play today. But the play I'm looking at, obviously coming from an Atlanta Braves perspective with their lineup, Jason. I'll start with you first in this one. Which way are you looking here? Atlanta Braves side total, what you got?
Yeah, the Braves on the team total will probably be the play here. You just look at it, the Braves, they stack up really nicely against lefties in the last 30 days. Even like Jock Peterson, who's a lefty, has some really great numbers, and Freeman getting on base at a really high rate, another lefty. And then Moore, he's been really bad against righties as the left-handed pitcher. 342 weighted OBA in his last 54 plate appearances. Also a 213 ISO. So you got two lefties in the lineup. It's going to be Peterson and Freeman. And then the rest will be righties. And, of course, righties destroy against Moore in the first place. So the Braves on the team total, 4.5, minus 115. Looks like the play in this one. Obviously, saw that bullpen. They're already banged up as it is because of yesterday. They had to go throughout the entire game with the bullpen. So now going into today, their bullpen's already a little bit damaged. Doesn't look great at all. So now you got more, plus that bullpen that already had to go the full 9 innings yesterday, or extra innings as well. So I like the Braves here for the full game on the over 4.5 on the team total.
Yeah, certainly you would look at that. They do have the better pitcher. Kyle, taking a look at this game, Matt Moore on the mound. He's been decent, but he's not a shutdown pitcher, and that's what I look for. Sometimes when you're betting team totals or overs, hey, let me get a guy that gets blown up. You know what, guys, I really enjoy 5 innings, 3 earned runs, because you know what? After 5 innings, I'm going to have a legitimate chance to actually cover this team total. What are you looking at from a perspective here between the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves?
Yeah, well, I do agree. I like the Braves team total. It was very close to my value menu, but I maybe stay a line later. Maybe the Braves are part of our best bets in Banker. Look, bottom line here, Morton has shown signs of weakness against this Phillies lineup. There's been a wide range of outcomes here. It's not like the Phillies can't hit him. If you look at his last 5 starts, he's got games 34, 27, really, really solid on DraftKings. Those are big numbers on DraftKings. He's also got a 0, a 10, and a 17, and include that 0 happened in his last start. So the Phillies do have a chance to hit him here. But we're talking about Matt Moore, and you mentioned Matt Moore has been decent. I think that's decent one start. Matt Moore is an absolute, should I say it? Should I jinx it? He's an absolute can. The Braves profile beautifully. It's the single highest weighted 3-year OPS in terms of lineup versus pitcher, and that's without Ronald Acuna in the lineup. Jason touched on it beautifully. Even Jock is good against left-handed pitching. I like the Braves today, and I think Morton is exponentially better than Matt Moore. So I like this number here I'm getting on the Braves, minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 105. Was even money earlier this morning. It's starting to slide a little bit the other direction, which I absolutely agree with. I think the Braves should be able to hit early. I like the Braves lineup in DFS. Guys like Swanson, Albies, Peterson, even Austin Riley, love him in the cleanup spot here. Really, the hitter with the lowest number is Freddie Freeman, incidentally enough, and I still like him. I think the Braves get it done here in the first 5 innings. I wouldn't mind. I don't know what the first 5 team total is for the Braves. I know Jason's been red hot with those lately, but I do like the Braves early in this one. I think they get it done in the first 5 innings, and I also don't think you're crazy for taking that Braves team total in the game. And quite frankly, you're going to find an 8.5, I don't mind the over in the game. I do think even if Morton pitches well those first 5 innings, again, we're talking about 2 really bad bullpens. You have the opportunities for runs early and late in this game. Over Braves first 5, both teams' team totals are live for me.
Yeah, taking a look at the Phillies game last night, a little bit of bad luck for Jason. I mean, if you said at the end of the game, the Phillies going to have 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position and get 11 walks at the same time, how the hell don't you win that game? Well, welcome to the Philadelphia Phillies franchise here. Let's keep moving down the list as we go. Speaking about those New York Yankees, 9-13, 9-14, 7-10 first pitch up in Boston at Fenway tonight. Montgomery, the lefty, versus Houck, the righty on the mound. Opened up at a 120 favorite here for Boston. Now we're seeing a 137. FanDuel opened up in New Jersey at 130. That's now up to 144. 9.5s across the board, down from 10. And usually I like to agree with moves that go higher for runs. But looking at the pitching matchup tonight, Montgomery hasn't been bad. Houck has some decent numbers. If we take a look at the breakdowns on Houck for the season, don't know how long he's going to go in this one, but an XFIP minus of 68 and a Sierra number 3.03 bodes very well. We'll see if the Yankees bats continue to hit without some of their big guns in the lineup. But I do agree with that line move here in this game tonight. I think Boston might be the play and maybe lower scoring than we think, Jason.
Yeah, I like the Red Sox in this spot as well. The Yankees coming off a nice win last night, but it did take a long time, and now they have to go face their rival. And the Red Sox have basically had the Yankees number throughout the entire season for the most part. And this is a guy, he's a prospect. He's a really good, really, really good pitcher. If you sit down and watch his stuff, he's got nasty stuff, and I'm sure he was killing it in AAA. I don't know what his stats are. I didn't check, but he's a big strikeout guy. He's got nasty stuff, and he's one of their top prospects when it comes to pitching. So this is a guy who I think should definitely destroy the Yankees. And we know the Yankees are very capable of striking out plenty of times. Like Donnie said, we don't know how long he'll go, and he hasn't went deep in any MLB start this year. He's only got 13.1 innings pitched on the year, mostly down in AAA. But this is a guy, he's really good. And as he develops and gets better, he's going to be hard to hit. He's going to be a solid pitcher. So I'm with you there. I think when it comes to Montgomery, he'll go up against the Red Sox. He had 3 runs in 6 innings in his last start on 7-16. And then on 6-26, he allowed 3 runs on 8 hits. He did get 13 ground balls in that game, but still there's going to be balls in play, and he's going to probably allow some runs in this game as well. So 3 runs in both in 6 innings. You could expect that again. So the Red Sox probably score 3 runs. If the Red Sox can hold the Yankees down, I think they will get the job done through the first 5 innings, but also the full game as well.
No, I agree with you on that. And taking a look here, Kyle, at this game tonight, because you have 2 pretty good bullpens. I think Chapman went back-to-back games here for the New York Yankees, so maybe he might not be unavailable tonight, or how many pitches can he actually throw once he gets in. I'm trying to slide it down to find that out. Let me see what we got here. Where are the Yankees numbers at? Of course, the Yankees are last year. Yeah, Chapman, 12 pitches last night, 15 the night before, so he might be available anyway. Also, keep in mind, Zach Britton back-to-back days that he pitched as well. Keep an eye on that situation, because, again, the Boston Red Sox do have a pretty good bullpen. Lining up these lineups here, it actually doesn't look bad. Like, Montgomery's been really good to left-handed batters, a 189 weighted on base percentage and an ISO power number .049, and he's been right around the average to righties. But when you take a look at the lineup here, that matches up well for Boston with against left-handed pitching, right-handed batters for themselves. You know, Kike Hernandez 231 ISO power number, JD Martinez 215, Bogarts 212, Hunter Renfroe 195, Dahlback 256, and Chavis 273. They actually match up pretty well, which is why I agree with that line movement here. What do you think of tonight between these two, Kyle?
Yeah, this one's tough. I do lean Boston, and it's kind of interesting. We talked about Matt Manning being way too cheap last night on DraftKings. Tanner Houck is way too cheap today. He's 5,300 on DraftKings. He's had 35 combined DraftKings points in his last 2 starts against the Yankees. That's very, very good on DraftKings, especially at that price. He's got the single lowest weighted 3-year OPS in terms of what he's done versus righties and lefties and what the projected lineup for the Yankees are tonight. I like the Red Sox here. I considered when I saw Montgomery on the mound and started profiling those hitters for Boston. Bogarts has been very, very good off Montgomery, 9 for 19 lifetime. I thought about that Boston team total at 5. Wasn't confident enough to pull the trigger. It's few too many runs, and you mentioned how good the Yankees bullpen is. So is Boston. So for me, this is a first 5 sort of bet. I do think Houck can get through this Yankees lineup. Again, it's a depressed Yankees lineup. They're still dealing with the COVID things. No Aaron Judge. I do think the Red Sox have the slight advantage here. You can get a minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 105. Nothing official for me there, but that's the way I would lean. If you're a Red Sox Yankees fan, and Lord knows we have enough of those in this world, and you're betting this game, you're watching this game with excitement, I think I'd lean the Red Sox here, and I'd take a minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings.
Yeah, I had the Boston Red Sox as a circled play possibly for a team total. As we keep moving down the list here, the Los Angeles Angels and also the Minnesota Twins, 9:15, 9:16. First pitch underway in this game in Minnesota at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. 135 as we open up as a favorite here towards Minnesota offshore at Pinnacle. That has risen a little bit here to 143. In New Jersey, not much movement. Opened up at minus 144. Now sits at 148. 9 to 9.5 across the board, depending where he's shopping at. Primarily 9.5. As we take a look at this game, Kyle, and Jason, and try to line this one up, it's always a tale of what have you done for me lately? Shohei Ohtani's been fantastic all season long and in the last 30 days at bat. If we take a look at Maeda, is going to be on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. If we shift it down and look at Jason, just the last 30 days, Ohtani is an ISO. It's amazing against righties. Ohtani's power number, ISO 5.568 with a weighted on base average of 473. Everybody else sucks in that lineup, Jason. What are you looking at tonight between the Twins and Ohtani's Angels?
Yeah, I kind of like the Twins in this game. Again, once you get to that bullpen for the Angels, you're going to see a lot of power. And like even against the White Sox, the Twins kind of showed that they're capable of hitting later in games. And I think that happens again. You got guys who have done really, really well against lefties and righties in terms of the matchups, whatnot. And they're not, 100% healthy, but I still think their offense is good enough. Their pitching isn't. That's why they're trailing in the standings. But the hitting will do enough to get the job done. So I would look at the Twins here on the team total.
Yeah, it's an interesting one here to try to match up. As we take a look here and go over the Minnesota hitters here, Kyle, Heaney's on the mound over his last 30 days. He has absolutely gotten detonated from right-handed batters. Being in mind, Heaney is a lefty. 456 weighted on base average and an ISO power number of 339. So immediately we flip over and say, well, how about these right-handed bats? Kepler's a lefty in on the team. Larnack is a lefty, but the rest are going to be righties. Looking at the 30-day splits here from those right-handed batters going against lefties, Nelson Cruz, 365 weighted on base average. Donaldson, 423. Sano, a 449. So some decent bats in there. Not great matchups here, but I do lean as well as Jason towards the Twins tonight. What are you thinking?
Yeah, ever so slightly towards the Twins. And why? Because it's hard to trust the Twins. And again, these are two bad bullpens. There should be runs scored in this game. Maeda is certainly a better pitcher than Heaney, in my opinion. I'm going to run away from this game in terms of picking a side. I would slightly lean the Twins if I was going to do so. But I do think there's some live home run props here. Nelson Cruz, 19 career at-bats, 3 home runs off of Heaney. Ohtani, in 5 career at-bats, of course, he's homered off Maeda, and you just mentioned his absolutely outrageous ISO power numbers against right-handed pitching. So maybe you can find one of those, odds boosts. Maybe that's coming soon here to the channel. You find those odds boosts. Maybe you can do a little home run parlay and have a lot of – that's the only way you're going to have fun watching this game, right, is – hey, let's do a Cruz and Ohtani home run parlay prop, and let's get it at plus, 900 or 800, and maybe something magical happens there. Both guys are live there. Josh Donaldson's also homered off of Heaney. Slight lean to the Twins. There should be runs scored here. For me, not confident enough to make it anything official or put it on the value menu. But I do lean the Twins, and I do like a couple home run props there with Cruz, even Cruz, Donaldson, Ohtani, even Jared Walsh, if he can get off this cold streak he's on, he should be able to get some hits off Maeda as well. So I would look at sort of some fun props with this, try to throw some plus money on it, not, wouldn't throw the mortgage at it or anything. Slightly into the Twins, have some fun with those home run props.
Yeah, there's been some fun props even yesterday. The FanDuel Sportsbook had an odds boost on a no-run first inning in that Cardinals-Cubs game, which did come in. And also, remember when we were talking about yesterday, each team to get a hit in the first inning between the Dodgers and the Giants, and they both homered on each side, so that one cashed in as well. Take a look at the Minnesota Twins on an odds boost at the FanDuel Sportsbook. They're included with the Dodgers tonight, both the Twins and the Dodgers to win at plus 200 here. And then looking at another boost here, we talked about that Red Sox game. Hunter Renfroe to hit a home run and Boston to win, boosted the plus 550. So some juicy numbers here out on the equation as we have value menu wagers as we get after tonight. And I do have one that I like, and it's not really a fade of the Philadelphia Phillies. It's just saying I don't think Matt Moore is that good. And if Matt Moore has a really good outing, it's 5 innings and 3 earned. And then you have 4 more at-bats going up against that Philadelphia Phillies bullpen that was used so much yesterday as is. Falter was one of the better pitchers out of the bullpen for the Phillies, but the Phillies notoriously don't like to take COVID shots. So every few days, a few different guys go on the COVID list. He was one of them a couple days ago, and that's certainly going to hurt them. But over the last 30 days, taking a look at the Atlanta Braves lineup going against lefties, Jock Peterson, who is a lefty, 27 at-bats, 516 weighted on base average. Freddie Freeman, yeah, he's a lefty, 409 weighted on base average. Ozzie Albies a switch hitter, so he'll be batting from the right-hand side tonight, 503 weighted on base average. Arcia, 382. Heredia, 405. Smith, 359. Some good numbers here. I'm not asking for a big bank effort here at Citizens Bank Ballpark tonight, but the Braves sit at 4.5 minus 115, which I think is a legitimate price on BetMGM. We'll see what the starting lineup looks like because, again, they did have a doubleheader yesterday. It was rained out, so they probably got into Philadelphia a little bit later. But keep in mind, this is a division game. You're going head-to-head with this team. Are the Braves really coming to town like, hey, you know what? Day off tonight. Let's put the B team in. Absolutely not. I expect a good lineup for the Atlanta Braves tonight. Do I want the Phillies to win? Yeah. How about 6-5? What are you taking a look at, Jason, tonight?
Yeah, no, I'm with you here on the Braves over 4.5 on the team total at minus 115. That's the value play for all the reasons you already mentioned. And like you said, also, you got the Braves are 46 and 48. The Phillies are 47 and 47. Both teams right now think that they can win the NL East and get to the Mets and also beat the Nationals, of course. So it's still an open race, and both these teams are probably going to be buyers at the deadline. We've already seen, obviously, the Braves have already made a couple acquisitions to get a couple players like Jock Peterson and Stephen Vogt, and the Phillies are probably going to be in that boat as well by the deadline. So, again, like he said, they're going to have guys that are going to be, you're going to get your top teams, you're going to get your top lineups, and they're going to be bringing it because if one of these teams is able to get a sweep on the other, they're going to be in much better position than they were just 3 days ago. So it's a big, big series for both these teams.
No, it certainly is here. Let's get over here. Value menu wagers here, Kyle, for yourself tonight. Where are you looking at?
It makes me nervous. We're going to the Oakland A's. We're going to go minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 115. Look, Flexen doesn't profile good against this lineup. And I'll be completely honest, it's not like the A's profile like world beaters. I'm not expecting them to score 6 runs off Flexen here. But we thought Flexen maybe would fill in yesterday. They ended up going another route. That worked out for us, and we got that Rockies under 6.5 somehow, some way. The magic was there. But Manaea, he's been really, really solid against Seattle. That lineup looks absolutely dreadful. If I go to Seattle, I usually talk about the advantages they have. Let's talk about the disadvantages the lineups have. Negative 35, negative 2, negative 18, negative 11, negative 44, negative 18, and negative 91% for this Mariners lineup. I think Manaea should be able to get through this lineup relatively easy. I actually like Sean Manaea quite a bit in DFS tonight as well. His price is really nice on DraftKings, on FanDuel at 9,100. If you're looking to pay up for a pitcher with high upside, 9,600 on DraftKings. Put up 42 DraftKings points in his last start against the Seattle Mariners. That's absolutely astronomical. That's Jacob deGrom shutout type numbers. Chris Flexen, for his part, got a 5. He got smoked by this lineup. I think the A's get it done early. I like Manaea over Flexen. So even though I don't trust him, and you guys know how I feel about the Oakland A's, let's see if they can do it twice in a row and really get off the schneid. I'll take the A's minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 115.
Gotcha. And also, King Dre says he doesn't like the odds boost. They rarely cash. But you have to keep in mind, all you need to do is basically hit like 25% on some of these to get. And, you can go 1-4 and still make some money. There's also a reason why we out here, you don't see us come on the show, because favorites are favorites because they're the better team and they're going to win more often. Otherwise, Jason, Kyle, and myself will come on like, hey, we're going to take 2 dog parlays here that pays out at plus 750. Yeah, we might win 1 out of 10, but that's why they're supposed to hit 1 out of 10 times, right?
Exactly. And they're an odds boost for a reason. Yeah. It's not like they're not going to take the most likely outcomes and just give you free money. So you got to pick and choose your spots with it, right? That's the whole point. You got to pick and choose your spots, and you don't bet the mortgage on it. It's only
$50. You can only do like $50. So
so it's just, have a little fun with it, but it's an odd boost for a reason. It's the outcome is unlikely to go in your favor. That's the whole damn reason the book makes millions and billions of dollars, and that's the reason why you're getting it plus money. I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah, they're fun to root on. That's exactly what they're there for. Right. So if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, hey, I want Boston to win. Just say they're up 4-1. Now you're rooting for a Hunter Renfroe, and the payout is plus 550. It's not as if they're giving you an odds boost from like 100 to plus 110. Or as Kyle says, they're not just going to be like, hey, Dodgers every night plus 100. Well, I mean, who wouldn't just be leveling down and just banging that out as their odds boost? They're not going to give that to you. Even if the Dodgers are minus 225, they're not going to boost it to plus 100 because why? They're supposed to win that game. So it is what it is, and it's a lot of fun just to talk about that stuff. Your best bets on the Major League Baseball board. I am abstaining tonight, but tomorrow is Friday. We always say it's payday. I already looked at the card for tomorrow, and when you take a look at some of the pitchers out there, we're looking at you, J.A. Happ and company, Wade LeBlanc. I mean, there is a lot of good stuff that we'll be able to dip into. But, Jason, do you have a best bet and a banker today that these people can eat on tonight?
I do, and I'm going to be on that Rays over 2.5 team total in the first 5 innings. I got it at minus 105. It's now at minus 110. I still see the value there. Cal Quantrill will be on the mound for the Indians. 6.17 xFIP in the last 30 days, 13% strikeouts, and 7.4% on the walk. So a little bit high there as well. His ground ball rate, 34.6%. Hard contact rate, 45.7%. So, he's not been very good. And then you go to the lefties. The lefties in his last 50 plate appearances, 447 weighted OBA, ISO 378. He's on striking out just 16% of batters, walking 10% of them. The ground ball rate to the lefties, 25%. The hard contact up to 47.2%. Now you go to the Rays lineup. They're going to have, and it's already out. The lineup's already out, and I love when that happens. The Rays lineup's already out right now. There's going to be 7 lefties in that lineup to go against Quantrill, who's been awful against lefties. You got Lau, Franco, Meadows, Wendell, Kiermaier. Mejia has been really good as a switch hitter from the left side. Also, you have Walls there, another switch hitter from the left side. And the thing I like about the Rays, they care about analytics just like we do. So what we're seeing is what they're seeing as well. This is why Mejia is in instead of Zunino. Mejia, 313 ISO, 19 plate appearances against righties, also a 521 weighted OBA. That's why he's in instead of Zunino. So they make a lot of sense when they're making the lineup to go up against what they're seeing are the disadvantages for the pitcher like Quantrill, who's again really bad against lefties. So you go to his stats or go to his last couple of games. He against Minnesota on 625, 6 earned runs and 4.1 innings pitched. Against Detroit on 630, 4 earned runs, 8 hits and 3.1 innings pitched. Houston 5.1 innings, 3 earned runs. Then he went to Kansas City, 3 runs in 6 innings. His last start against Oakland only allowed 1 run through 5 innings, but that was at Oakland in what we would call a pitcher's ballpark. He got a lot of ground balls in that game. It was something that doesn't usually do. Get a lot of ground balls. We just talked about it. 34.6% ground balls. Well, in his last start, 9 ground balls to 4 fly balls. I don't think that happens for the Rays. I think they'll be able to show some power, get on base, can walk a little bit. And again, the Rays, they strike out a ton, but Cal doesn't really have that put-away pitch where he's going to get a high amount of strikeouts. The most he's gotten was 5, and that was against Oakland when he went 5 innings and got 1 earned run. So we're going to go over there. We're going to take the take the Rays over 2.5 on the team total at -105 in that first 5 innings, and that'll be the official play.
You need a couple guys to step up there, because I did have that as a circled possible play with Tampa Bay. Rosarania and Franco, against righties this year have been absolutely abysmal. If you can get a decent day out of one of those 2 guys, you probably are looking on the up and up here. Kyle, what are you looking at here as your best bet in banker if you do have one today?
Yeah, and just to touch on that too, Cal Quantrill. He's hit 0 strikeouts more times this year than he's hit 5 strikeouts. His strikeout prop today is at 4.5. I took the under 4.5 -143. I think Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay does strike out more than any other team in the league, I see 0 chance that Cal Quantrill gets 5 strikeouts tonight against that left-handed heavy lineup. So that could be a prop you look at. My best bet, I'm going to go with that Braves -0.5 in the first 5. It's a complete fade of Matt Moore for me. I think the righties in that lineup, Riley, Swanson, Albies, etc., can get it done. And I think Morton, I know he's had some ups and downs against his Phillies lineup, and certainly they have some lefties in there, Didi, Bryce, etc., who can certainly hit the ball off of him. Morton exponentially better. I'm going to take that -0.5 in the first 5. It was even money this morning. It shifted to -105. I agree with the line movement there. Braves -0.5 in the first 5 is my official play of the day.
All right, let's get to the odds lightning round as we shifted around Major League Baseball, see what has been left off the card, if there's any tidbits left. Starting with you, Jason, here. I don't have a confirmed pitcher on a couple books here between Snell and Miami, 903, 904, but I do have a slight favorite here, -145. Yeah, it looks like it might be, but I don't know if that's confirmed. It's still listed as undecided. Yeah. So if we go with that, any thoughts, Jason, on what you got here on this game?
It's funny, it seems like every single day the
Miami.
Yeah, it does.
Fuck the Marlins. Seriously, just get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm cutting in, but
no, it's fine. But what's funny is their starting rotation or their starters. They actually have one of the better ERAs in all of baseball when it comes to their starters and their ERA. Yeah. So that's the funny part when you look at it. But yeah, it could be Thompson, and Thompson does have a high amount of strikeouts. He's not terrible against lefties, pretty bad against righties, but again, not terrible. Although the Padres, they do have a really good lineup against righties. As of late, 220 ISO, weighted OBA 372, walking over 10% of the time. So the Padres have a good lineup. Sometimes they don't really, perform to how they're supposed to, and they kind of perform to the level of their opposition. And if they do that against the Marlins, it's going to be some boring games coming up. But yeah, you go to this Marlins lineup, it's just so bad. You have Rojas, Marte struggled a little bit. They have some power. They have some ISO, but really they're not getting on base. They're striking out 27.6% against lefties, walking just 6.3. So all Snell needs to do is just limit the walks, something he hasn't done lately. But if he can just limit the walks, throw strikes like we know he's capable of doing, he should be able to go through 5-6 innings and allow no runs against this Marlins lineup. But again, you go to Snell, 5.88 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out 18.3% and also walking 18.3%. Don't want to put my money on that, but I would trust Snell more than anyone on the Marlins.
All right, let's skip over that Tampa Bay Cleveland game. We covered that extensively here. Hit that Chicago Cubs St. Louis Cardinals game, which yesterday, that no runs first inning odds boost at +140 did come in. Tonight, looks like I was on FanDuel tonight. DraftKings has one. It's boosted to +110 no runs scored in this one between Alzolay and Kim. Taking a look at the sides here, 123 offshore at Pinnacle here, Kyle. That's now down to 117. FanDuel opened up at 136. That's now down to 126. 8s to 8.5, mostly 8.5s across the board. up from 8s from an opening number. I circled the Cubs as a possible team total play in this one. Just not a big believer in Kim overall. And Alzolay gets wrecked by left-handed batters. The issue with this game, you don't have that many left-handed batters at all, and they're not very good for the Cardinals. So I'm looking towards the Cubs in this one, maybe.
I want to, but man, this seems – we're talking about a Cubs team in extra innings yesterday, bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't get a single run across. They just find a way to get in their own way. It's sort of bizarre, and I know the one home run was robbed earlier by Bader. It's tough to trust either one of these lineups. And look, Wainwright and Hendricks, they're very solid pitchers, but these aren't world beaters, and they just mowed through these guys last night. I mean, they did. They just absolutely mowed through these lineups. I'm not sure I see any inspiration or belief or desire to win on the Cubs side. The Cardinals seem to just profile terribly against right-handed pitching. One of the worst teams, in my opinion. Just, I haven't looked this up to see their exact numbers here. But day by day, every time I see a right-handed pitcher, I'm like, my God, the guys you want to rely on are Goldschmidt, Carlson, and Arenado. And even they haven't been great against right-handed pitching. I feel like this could be an under game. I'm with you at first when I looked at it. You look at those right-handed bats for the Cubs, you're like, God, they should get it done. But I'm not sure they're motivated enough to do it. This is a complete stay-away game for me. You can get some plus money in the Cardinals, minus 0.5 in the first 5 if you're looking for a plus money spot. It's a little risky because, again, I don't think Kim is anything special either. Also, they're both just these sort of above average pitchers. Both of them have low weighted 3-year OPS numbers here based on what the lineups are projected to be tonight for both teams. I think I'm going to stay away. I would lean lightly to that Cardinals plus money in the first 5 just because of the number, not necessarily the team. But when you look at a plus money spot that has a reasonable expectation of producing, that could be the spot. So that's the way I lean in this game.
Yeah, taking a look at here is the split. So even over the last 30 days with Alzolay, take a look at his weighted on base average. 47 lefties he's faced over the past 30 days, a 513 weighted on base percentage, and a 463 ISO power number. So Jason would probably like if Alzolay was going up against the Tampa Bay Rays today,
Exactly.
They would absolutely wreck him. But when you take a look at the lineup anticipated, Carlson, 291 weighted on base average. He's a switch hitter. It's all about lefty tonight. Then you take a look at Edman, 216. That's it. The rest are right-handed batters. And look at Alzolay's splits to right-handed batters. A 160 weighted on base average and an ISO power number of .028. So you have the exactly backwards lineup in play tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. And you say, hey, why don't you put somebody in on the bench? Who are they going with on the bench? They have nobody. What, Matt Carpenter? That guy's been just terrible all season long and terrible for the past couple years at this point. So an interesting game to watch. Maybe a decent nerfy spot. We'll see how it plays out a little bit later tonight. DeSclafani and Buehler on the mound. Good one here. San Francisco and the Dodgers. Everybody continuing to get off in late extra innings, late in the game, big-time home runs. We're seeing it all here in this one. 7.5s across the board. Same way I looked last night. It seems like an under game to me, Jason. It really does. Yeah,
and, it's tough because both offenses do have solid numbers against, righties. So, yeah, you look at this and, both Buehler, 3.96 xFIP, 28.1% strikeouts, really hasn't been that bad against righties or lefties as of late. The walks are a little bit higher righties, but really not terrible. And then you go to DeSclafani, 4.05 xFIP in the last 30 days, 25.8% strikeouts, and also just 5.6% walks. Now, the one thing that you can get against DeSclafani, 39.3% ground balls, the hard contact to 40.5%. So, we like to talk about the Dodgers, the team launch angle. They can do that against DeSclafani and score some runs that way by putting the ball in the air, which is something DeSclafani's not able to stop for the most part. So if I had to choose, I think the righties in the Dodgers lineup, they can have some power against DeSclafani here. 213 ISO in his last 68 plate appearances. So you got righties like Turner, Pollock, Pujols will be in there, I'm sure. So there's power in that lineup for the Dodgers. So I would side with the Dodgers here. But, yeah, like Donnie said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 2-0 game, 3-0 game or 2-1 type of game where the Dodgers come out in the first 5.
How about this odds boost here on the DraftKings Sportsbook in this one? It's called the 1-up, 1-down. Walker Buehler to strike out the first Giants batter of the game, boosted from 290 up to 320. So some interesting ones. They keep those options out there. It's kind of fun. Like, yeah, really. You wait up for the game. Like, hey, hon, I'll be to bed in a couple minutes. I got to wait for one batter here and then see if I get paid out. So Yeah, interesting stuff. 9-17, 9-18 last game. We'll talk about Oakland and Seattle. Manea on the mound, the lefty, versus Flexen. Line on the move and going higher, and I can't say I disagree with it here. 126 up to 140 offshore at Pinnacle in the favor of the Oakland Athletics here in New Jersey. 134 at FanDuel, up to 146. Low over-unders here, seeing 7.5s across the board. That tells you how bad these lineups might be at this point here, Kyle. Are you looking team total overs on the A's? Uh-oh.
I'm just going to go on the first 5 innings here. And I do like, and look, the Mariners are probably the most disrespected team in terms of teams with a winning record. They're always an underdog. There's always value on them. I just like how Oakland's lineup profiles against Flexen better than I do Seattle's against Manea. Someone astutely mentioned in the chat box earlier that Manea hasn't looked great since they started checking on the sticky stuff. I don't disagree with that. I think you're absolutely right about that, but this Mariners lineup profiles absolutely horribly. For me, it's A's or nothing. Do I trust them to get to the team total? I do not, because we've seen this lineup get cold against worse pitchers. They did smash Flexen the last time. To answer Vitalis in the chat, yes, the Dodgers have absolutely smashed Anthony DeSclafani in his last 5 starts. Only one time did he get more than 10 fantasy points, including a -15, a 5, a 6, and a 7. So the history says Dodgers should smash him tonight. Plus, look at the heartbreaking loss last night. I think the Dodgers, just within your gut, would make sense there. But for the A's, I like the A's -0.5 in the first 5 innings. That line has moved from even money to -105. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think they get it done against Flexen tonight. Give me the A's. It's on the value menu for a reason. I don't like trusting the A's, but I'm going to give them one more damn shot. I'm going to probably give them more shots than I'll give Jason's Mets, for Christ's sake. So I'll take the A's -0.5 in the first 5.
By the way, just updating here also on DraftKings, some of these odds boosts. And you want to talk about some lottery ticket shots here. The Yankees and the Red Sox game, each team to score in the first inning, plus 950. Oof. So solo shot on each side. Oof. That is a close to 10-1 ticket here. And then also, it's funny. This one's called SeaWorld. Marlins, Rays, and Mariners all to win today, plus 800. So again, you can't bet a lot of money, max $50. But you pulled $50 on a plus 950, you'd be eating good over the weekend, man. Trust me on that one. But some good stuff to look at. And again, we'll incorporate more odds boosts into the show as we go along and have a section. If you guys bring up any odds boosts that you see out there, feel free to put those in the chat box. They're a lot of fun to talk about, break down. And yeah, you don't have to bet a lot of money on that, but if you do hit them, they're certainly fun to cheer on. Let's clear the bases and get out of here today on our Thursday Major League Baseball show. But as always, before we do that, let's wrap up and tell you guys what we're on tonight. There were 4 games I like. Tampa Bay's team total, Boston's team total, the Cubs team total. But my favorite today, no best bet and banker in this one. Again, if I would have given out best bets and bankers yesterday, I would have taken the loss. I'm not about anybody can just give out losers here. What we try to do on the show is pick those concise spots to give out winners. Case in point, I'm 30-12 on the season. Friday's payday. I'll be back tomorrow. But I'm going to go with the Braves, 4.5, -115 tonight. Get 5 against the Phillies. I think they can do that. Jason, what do you got tonight? Best bets and bankers, and also your value on the card.
Yeah, I'm with you on the value. The Braves over 4.5 on the team total at -115. And then, of course, the big play will be for me, the Rays over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -105. You can get that on DraftKings, PointsBet, or WinBet. And I'm not sure if there's any offshore books that have it, but if any offshore books do have the first 5 on the team total, let people know in the chat so they can get on it if they want to tell me as well.
There you go, Kyle. What you got tonight? Value and also best bet and bankers. Let them have it.
Before I say a damn thing, 350 people watching, only 69 of you can hit the thumbs up button. Come on, hit the thumbs up button for us. We sit here, exactly, there are jokes for that. Only 69 of you can hit the thumbs up. Hey, thumb play, when you start getting older, things get different. And anyways, that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother show. Donnie tried to lead me into getting in trouble, but I'll stop it short.
Send all your emails to management.
Yes, send them all in there. Okay, so value menu, I'm going to take those A's -0.5 in the first 5, as I touched on. Play of the day, I'm going to take the Braves. I think we're all on the same page here. We expect the Braves to hit Matt Moore. I'll take them -0.5 in the first 5 as well. Prop of the day. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll see it. We do a little video clip, but I do like the under 4.5 strikeouts for Cal Quantrill. Again, he's only hit that number twice this year. He hit exactly 5. He's had 0 strikeouts, more than he's had 5. I think the number's there. If you look at, we're talking 80% chance that he does not strike out this left-handed lineup for the Rays, even though they do strike out a ton. For those of you who like home run props, here's my DFS home run list today. We got 4 of them yesterday, by the way. 4 of the 7 players on the list yesterday hit a home run, so that's a nice day. Today, here's who we got on the list. I'm going to keep riding the Kike Hernandez train. Dude's been red hot, smacking the ball out of the park. Let's keep him on the list. Giancarlo Stanton, like how he profiles today a little bit. I got him there. Brandon Lowe, right? Because Lau left, Lowe stayed. Did I get that right? Or is it backwards?
No, backwards.
Son of a bitch. Brandon Lau is on my home run list. I like Tampa Bay. I always get that wrong. I don't understand it.
But Kyle, I went with Lau, and you told me the other guy.
I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I can never get that right. Nelson Cruz, home run prop. Shohei Ohtani. If you don't have him on your home run list, you're not paying attention. Fernando Tatis, especially if it's Thompson out there. I like how he profiles there. And that's it. That's all the home run props right there.
All right, boys. Thanks for tuning in to the Thursday Major League Baseball show. Friday is payday. You absolutely know that. So we'll be back on the channels tomorrow and covering a full Major League Baseball card. So we're going to get out of here today. I'm Donnie for Jason and also Kyle. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team right here. So good luck on your wagers, and we'll see you tomorrow.